Hi everyone and welcome back to a little bit of Path of Exile. So, we changed up our MTX and a little bit more about the build as well. So, I had a blast of Freezing Pulse, right? I really think, for a League starter, I'm exceedingly happy with it. Or extremely happy with it. It exceeded my expectations, as I've mentioned. What a good time I had. Level 298 with it. And then I swapped into Essence Drain Contagion. So all I had to do was respecking my Ascendancy into the whatchamacallit, Occultist. There we go. And I played that until I hit level 99, actually. There it is, right? And now I have respect again, this time into something that I have played a similar thing like this in the past. And I always wondered, what if I would go back to Power Siphon, but as an Occultist, and also speccing it to cold damage. And this is what happens when you do this. You get yourself a Wonder without Power Siphon, that is stacking power charges, getting absorption charges, and currently we are sitting at 11 maximum power charges, which translates to we can actually also have 11 frenzy charges, which is absolutely amazing, right? So yeah, the frenzy charges are not only good for our attack speed, they are also in conjunction with the supports we are using extremely good for added damage. And we will talk about that in a little bit, right? For now, let's just finish clearing this map. And this is another one of the builds that is just very good at mapping, but you don't want to bring this into a boss fight, right? You will be missing so much damage in a boss fight, just in the nature of how we achieve our damage, how we scale it up. It's just not a thing you can do with the gear set I'm currently running that will be proficient at bossing. That doesn't mean that it's impossible. I think we could definitely find a way together to make this a lot more stable. It's quite volatile at the moment, basically. The spikes in damage, you basically go from feeling a little bit weak to, oh, I actually can just 1 and 2 click these mobs, mostly 1 click them, and if they're not dead, they're at least frozen. And if you ever get overwhelmed with mobs, you just press while Power Siphon and basically everything vanishes from existence. Let's double check the map. Yes, we did. We didn't clear up here, so let's do that. I'm sorry, I'm a bit all over the place today. It's still very, very hot, and I tried to record this video now for like 3 or 4 times, and I always failed. So I figured, you know what? Instead of trying, we just record and take what we get, right? It's okay, it's okay. I also don't wanna this isn't a build guide or a character guide or something like that. There will be no PoE for the moment as well, just because I still have a lot of work to do in that regard. And yeah, this definitely not a League starter, right? Very expensive to put together, but still a lot of fun, right? A good amount of fun. Hello. So, currently I am just farming for 8 modded maps, which has been working out for me. I throw them into King's March, right, and I also run them myself. For recording, I tend to go with not 8 modded maps, just to save on frame rate. So yeah, the reason, right, we are relying on our frenzy charges so much is here, right? Ice Bite support, a very interesting support that I always wanted to use. And you can use this with spells, don't get me wrong, right? So I just never could fit this in until I realized something. So, to explain, right, you get some freeze chance, right? And whenever you kill a frozen enemy, you have a chance to gain a frenzy charge, right? And you saw how quickly we were on those 11 frenzy charges in that map. So that's what I mean with quite volatile, right? You start with like, oh, I need to click like 2 or 3 or 4 times, and then a pack dies, and suddenly, oh, boom, you're at your highest, right? You gain flat added cold anyways, but you also gain it per frenzy charge on top of that. Now, that is quite a decent chunk of flat added cold, right? You also get a decent amount of that from our chess piece. So this is adding a level 29 added cold support. So basically we are running a 7-linked power siphon with the Sacred Wisps. These are just summoned next to us and also attacking, right? You have LE damage with attacks. You have damage on full life because you are CI, you are always on full life, or we are dead. And then we have power charge and crit for more damage per power charge to round out the initial pass of offenses, right? And I mean, with this setup, I just knew I wanted to go power charge stacking, right? Because if you take a look at the Occultist, Forbidden Power, just so cool. You get +1 max power charges, and so nice, right? So nice. We round this out with +1 on the tree over here and to the right, and then we anoint the one to the left. So we get +3 just from regular nodes. One on top of that, so +4. We then have Malachi's Loop, that gives us +6. We have a Will Clash with a Corruption, that gives us +1 more, so we are on 10 already. And then somehow I managed to squeeze one more out. Where did I do this? Oh yeah, with the belt. This also gives us +1 max. And also, right, so Malachi's Loop has a downside, so you would lose all your power charges when you reach maximum power charges, and you would get shocked. Now, I'm running Tempest Shield, so the shock wouldn't matter. Losing our power charges, though, would completely shatter our crit chance and our crit multi, so that's unacceptable. So to counteract that, we are running Rollercoaster Impatience. Probably still best in slot for power charge stacking, right? And the belt just... we gain absorption charges instead of power charges. As you can see, we are up on 11 of those. And you get 12% 12% LE damage recouped as energy shield for each charge. We have 11, right? So that's a big deal. And to counter the physical damage, we are just relying, sadly, on Immortal Call in combination with Enduring Composer, right? When you get hit, we generate an endurance charge every second, and Immortal Call will consume them to give us a quite big bolster up on physical defense. It's still pretty squishy on the physical side. I'm not gonna lie there, right? This is why I'm not I'm not going to post a path of building for this, because it's unfinished, and you can peek a glance right here at the tree and probably figure out a lot of stuff from seeing this, right? And gear-wise, I don't really like to run that many uniques, but like I had to run Badge of the Brotherhood because I already had it, right? So max frenzy charges is equal to max power charges. I was using this with Essence Drain, so I was like, I will just going to take this forward with me. And yeah, I mean, how amazing is that? Right? So 11 frenzy charges, remember here, 15 to 23 added cold damage per frenzy charge times that 11, right? That's, wow. That's a decent chunk of damage, right? The downside is, with these many uniques, we are only, in quotes, on 5.8k ES, and our evasion rating is pretty low. It's reaching 20k. We've had flasks. What is this with flasks? Like 32k. That is just not enough, right? And it's something that I do need to work on. I definitely need to work on the flasks as well. Don't get me wrong. I definitely need to do something there. So yeah. That leaves us with a couple of rares, right? So we have the gloves, and my gloves, I just wanted to get a good chunk of evasion and ES. We have gain 1 rage on attack hit on here and cold exposure on hit. Both really helpful. Rage on hit, basically, the more rage you have, up to 30, which is the max for me right now, you get some attack speed out of that as well, right? Which is very cool. And the rings are just, both of them have flat evasion, both of them have flat energy shield. We have some strength, some dex, and then just some resistances, and we crafted flat cold damage onto there. Cool. The Will Clash is just a very good one to get, and the +1 max power charges is quite expensive if you want to get a good roll on these things. I have to double check if this is actually best in slot, or if I could change this up a little bit. It's a decent amount for now. Yeah, Replica Covenant, man, only getting 480 ES from the chess piece stinks a little bit, not gonna lie, but it is what it is, right? The one thing also that you might think is, hey, how are you not dying? Because with Replica Covenant, yeah, we also need to pay in energy shield, right? And not only mana. So, what I did, and this is something I learned with one of the other Wonder builds I've played, grab Ghost Reaver, right? So, you cannot recharge energy shield anymore. Recoup still counts, so the absorption charges still work, right? But you cannot recharge. But in turn, you can leech energy shield instead of life, and it is doubled, right? So we combine this node with these three nodes down here. We have some increased recovery, some more attack leech as life, 1% of attack damage leech as life here, and even more recovery. The mastery gives us 5% of leeches instant, and then we couple this with one of the wand masteries that gives us attack damage leech as life and as mana. And that is our whole sustain. We are able to leech like 1300 energy shield per second, which that's quite nice, right? That is pretty much almost a quarter of our whole ES pool every second that we can get from leeching, right? So very decent, very decent. Also, Runegraft of the Fortress. Yeah, we reduce our attributes, but we get 40% decreased defenses, very, very much needed. And that's why I do have some strength allocated here on the tree. So yeah, fixable with gear, though. But I think I have rambled for long enough. I will sit down and work a little bit more on this build, and yeah, I will report back to you once I figured out, or if I haven't figured out anything, I will report back in any of those scenarios. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and as always, take care. Bye.